Hi, hello, and good evening. We are back with another MONWON Monday stream, sans John Dunphy. It is August 11th, and we have really just a little bit to discuss, right? Because so it's, we know that Ava won, but like not much else happened. And I do want to, even though she's on my team, I do want to contest her win.
Ooh.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. We'll get into it. That's why we're here, right? Let's do it. I am Kyle Petty, and I'm joined, as always, by my festy bestie, Gina Morgino, and this is 2/3 of Strat Chat, arguably your favorite reality TV podcast. You can find us on all the socials at Strat Chat Pod. John has something better to do this evening, making money. He is working the Katy Perry show at the Madison Square Garden. He can't be bothered with us tonight. But we do want to get a little bit into Ava's HOH and some of the, results of today's veto. Before we get into those spoilers, though, you casuals will let you know when we're switching formats. Okay, but any Hoosers, how did we open up this episode? We got to see some of the side conversations during Ashley's flarned vote. Some of what Ashley and Rachel discussed in the hallway. Who was Rachel talking about, though, when she said, she's going to do it. She's going to do it. Who is she? Ava. Which she did not. For some reason, I just missed that name. Go ahead.
I also don't really know why it seemed like everything hinged on Ava, because even if Ava did it, that's only 3 votes. Like, I don't know why Ava was the thing that she was kind of like hinging this plan on. Like, if Ava does it, everyone else will follow. That's not how that's working.
Or was it that you were so super sure about Ava? Or no, vice versa. You weren't sure about Ava because maybe she was flip-flopping, but there were other people you were super sure on, and for some reason you thought that Ava was the swing vote.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love a lot more context around that conversation because I still didn't really think that we got enough. But it was really Will and, his daddy spray, if you will.
We're not doing daddy spray.
You're saying we're not doing it, but you're the one who clipped it and made it a thing. Like, I could have forgotten that I said something so ridiculous, but you made it a real thing. So, if anything, this is actually more your fault than mine.
Hold on. Let's not talk crazy.
Is it really that crazy, though? Is it? You don't remember half the things I say. It's really on you. But you're welcome to the rest of the world because it was Will's daddy spray that kind of forced this moment here where Ashley was like, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing here. And Will said, no, the vote is still supposed to be Jimmy. And she tried to change her vote. And, obviously Julie said absolutely not. That was the firmest we've really seen her be since Big Brother 23. When Kyland was being removed from the house.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I said, no. And then Big Brother 23, Kyland. I actually think that Julie was scared.
She was like, something is about to happen. I cannot be a part of this. I wasn't trained on this.
Have to go. I got to get out of here. Yeah, I was supposed to be on 60 Minutes. I don't know how I stumbled into this. Hey, Trees. Thanks for hanging, babes. So that was that. And obviously then we went into Rachel being very, very upset because she's not winning things. She doesn't want to be viewed as a failure. She feels like, her mist has no effect, which not untrue, unfortunately. Not untrue. Especially where I feel like, I don't know, this Jack the Dipper competition. What did you think about this?
First of all, I hated this competition. Like, I just if I had to hear the squishy sound effect one more time, I was gonna lose my mind. I also I think these knockout competitions are only fun when they happen live because everything has to be such a split decision of like, and now these two people, and now these two people, and you're watching
Mhm.
people in real time showing their cards. This, which I know you have a lot to talk about with this, so not to step on toes, but like they took so much time in between rounds to be like, oh, well, I'll figure out who. It makes it so much less fun. It makes it less dynamic. It makes it matter less. And also, I don't know why Big Brother production thinks we're all dumb because like I can't stand in these competitions where they do everybody's confessionals of explaining the thing that we're watching them do. We had to literally sit there and watch Vince go,
Oh.
yeah, so I'm counting the numbers for A on my right hand and B on my left hand. And my right hand had more fingers up than my left hand. And so that showed me that he used A more often than he used B. So I can deduce from that that A is the one that got dipped more. I was like, I get it. I get it. Why am I hearing everybody explain this 15 times? The higher number wins. Done. Why do I have to keep hearing you retell this?
Oh, wow. I actually kind of enjoyed hearing how other people were counting this. My
Like, it drove me nuts. I was like, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. I was a little bummed though that like they didn't actually let us really play along. You know, because they kept
So many
interjecting
cuts.
it with yes, and it's like, come on. Part of what's fun about some of these knockout competitions is that you get to kind of play along with them. Like I love playing the trivia things like how much did I get? I watched the
I
same
love
video
finding
as
out if
you.
I won HOH.
Exactly. I never do. I never do, but I like playing along and this would like I really felt cheated on this because this felt like something that you could have had some fun playing.
Sure.
The person who did not have any fun playing this competition, however, was Ava, because I feel like she barely played it. She wasn't really selected until what? When there were four people left?
No,
Maybe
not even.
five?
There were three because Will had won his round, and then the only two people left were Riley and Ava. So Ava had to go up. But before
It's even
that, she had
worse.
not played one round. Like she only got chosen by default.
Goodness gracious. And then she did win a round, right? She did win one round. But then she was up against Will and she just stood there. And that's really why she
Well,
won
to be
HOH.
fair, I think Will threw it because he buzzed in like
So,
halfway through the video. So it's like you're not even
mm,
really counting to see what the number is. You just picked one.
okay. See, I was barely paying attention to this competition because I was like,
Sure.
all right, I already know how this ends. I was kind of walking around getting the house together, like clean up the kitchen and such. So I kind of missed that end of it. But like, all right, so maybe he threw it to her. Um, what do you think about that move? If that's the case.
I mean, they're aligned, so I feel like either way that shook out, he would have been fine. So just like give her her moment, I guess. My bigger problem with the way this played out is I think in any other knockout competition, that speaks a lot to Ava's social game that people
Mhm.
weren't really picking her because they weren't trying to eliminate her. However, nobody understood what a knockout competition was because everybody was standing there going, all right, does anybody want to volunteer? Who wants to go? And then if people weren't volunteering, you had Zach putting up two of his allies guaranteeing that at least one of them wasn't going to win. And it's like, do you not understand the game that you're playing right now? Like,
Right.
the purpose
It's
of
such
this
a
is to
disgrace.
knock out your enemies so
Right.
that they can't win. So you put up two people that you do not want to win, guaranteeing that one of them won't. And like Rachel said so much in one of her DRs. She's like, why are they asking for volunteers? That's not how this works.
Right, right. I mean, unless that is how they wanted it to work, is there a world in which, like, maybe this was strategy? Like, just get some people to volunteer so there's no blowback on me for kind of showing my cards for what two people I don't want to win? Like, I really,
I
really can't
honestly
decide.
don't think
I
so.
know, I can't decide if this was like a smart move, was this
Because
intentional, or you just really not knowing what the hell was. supposed to be going on.
I think they really don't know, because even Rachel said too, she was like, this is such a good opportunity to show your cards without showing your cards, because ideally in a knockout competition it all happens so quickly you don't really have time to think about it. So like if
Right.
I get put up against so and so and this person put me up, I get to be upset about it for like 10 seconds, but then I'm like, it's so go 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 go, you don't really have the time to sit and reflect on it until maybe later, but usually by then you're so wrapped up in what the HOH is going to do, you're not thinking about that anymore.
Right, right. Because usually when we get to see these competitions, they're happening live. And Julie's like, come on, come on,
Right.
come on. She's like, I got to get out of here. I have a date. The show ends at 9. Yeah. Meanwhile, we had all this time for dialogue in between. Yeah. Maybe it's just like a misplaced time for a competition like this, because John was really, really standing firm on the fact that he is ready for like live HOHs, which we obviously have not gotten. And I was a
Uh-huh.
naysayer because I was like, I don't want you to now push this blockbuster thing away, because I do think that that's pretty
Right.
exciting too. But if anything, like maybe you should just save a competition like this for later
Yeah, a
to
knockout
actually be
competition
played the
that
way it's
isn't
supposed
live is
to.
not fun for anybody.
Yeah, yeah, agreed, agreed. And that is how Ava, rose to power. She won one round, and apparently Will threw it to her. So now Ava was HOH. I think the initial people that she wanted to put up, though, was always Vince, wasn't it? It was Vince, Keanu.
I believe.
There was another person. Oh, Ashley. That's who she wanted. She wanted Ashley to go up. And
Mhm.
Mickey said to her in the gym, absolutely not. Like, you can't do that. We need her in jury. This is not the right time. Um, I don't usually like when other people like influence people's HOH decisions so heavily, but I actually don't think that keeping Ashley is really a danger to Ava's game.
I agree.
So I don't really know that this is necessarily like bad advice. And I feel like if it was Ava sitting next to a male, unless it's Will, there's a pretty good chance that Ava would get Ashley's vote.
Mm. Yeah, I don't really see a situation where Ashley's gunning for Ava. I think that of all of the HOHs we've seen so far, Ava kind of has the smartest nominations, because I feel like we're seeing a lot of people put up their allies or put up people that are beneficial to other people's games and not necessarily their own game. Whereas Ava, I think, is the first person that we're really seeing being like, okay, here are the people that I'm aligned with. Here are the people that I'm not. Here are my
Mhm.
people that are going up on the block. And it's like, okay, thank you for like taking your game into, like, yeah, sure, maybe keeping Ashley is more beneficial to Mickey than it is to Ava, but keeping Ashley is more beneficial to Ava than keeping, say, Zach.
Mm, very fair. Very fair. What do you think of what do you think of the alliance that seems to really be forming between Will, Mickey, and Ava?
I don't hate it. I do just kind of worry about Mickey in general, because I feel like I just feel like she doesn't really know what's going on. Like, even we saw at one point, is this a live feed thing? This might be a live feed thing. I was gonna say something, but I don't know if it was in the episode or on a live feed update that I watched, so I don't want to say it
Okay.
anymore. Maybe
All
I'll leave
right.
it for
So
later.
we'll bookmark it. You have your pad. Write it down so you don't lose it. Write it down. Write it down. You're not writing it. You're not going to remember. You're going to forget.
I
Write
got
it
you. I
down.
got you. Don't worry about it. We'll talk
Okay.
about Mickey. I'll remember.
All right. What I will say about Mickey, though, is that she also, that is really how we opened up this episode, was really with Mickey kind of saying that she thought that her HOH was a wild success. And while I was quite jubilant over Jimmy's exit, I'm not really sure that was actually best for
It
Mickey's
was a
game.
terrible move.
Yeah, I think that was really, really terrible, and I thought it was interesting that she was standing like 10 toes down on this decision, because
It's
I'm
crazy.
not really sure she
Has,
should be.
Mickey has actual ops in the game, and she instead
Mhm.
chose to target one of her two biggest
Yeah,
allies, because she trusts him less than the other one. And it's like, now is not the time for that move.
no, it's super, super is not. And for me, if I was playing this game, that would make me wary of being close to her, because if you just saw like this, if I was Morgan, I'm like, you know what, I might want to rethink how I navigate this relationship with her. Like, maybe I don't consider you necessarily my actual number one. And does she? Have
Mhm.
we seen enough of Morgan? Like,
I kind of feel like she's more. Mm, if I
mm,
was guessing, I would say she seems more loyal to the Vince and Zach trio than she ever did to the Mickey and Jimmy trio, but I don't know if that's just based on the way the edit is portraying it.
mm.
But it feels like the Mickey Jimmy alliance was like a secondary alliance to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. But I can't say that anything she said really supports that though. And I can't
Yeah,
even
I'm
really
not.
say
I
there's
like. I don't
really,
know that for certain.
yeah, there's no action she's taken either that would suggest that really to me either. I guess it's just the way that things have been edited and us not being proper feeders as we used to be.
I know we're trying our
Um,
best. We're trying our
I know we're
best.
doing our best, like please. I think the only other thing that was in the episode that is worth a quick chat is the relationship between Riley and Catherine. Okay, we got a whole like,
Uh,
it's so gross. But I really don't know what to think of it though, because this made it sound as if like it was something, but I have seen a lot of chatter on Twitter from like Catherine's mom, and I think her aunt has made some comments about how this relationship is not real. Catherine's mom was like, this will never be my son-in-law. I know my child. There's been like a lot of
I
like
mean,
really
look,
interesting things around that.
I would love nothing more than to believe that this is like a strategy and a game move from Catherine.
Mhm.
Like that is what I am hoping is the case because I cannot accept that the hyper feminist woman that we saw in the preseason is going for
Right.
this type of a man.
Yes. And then I
I'll
was
just
going
that'll be the delicate way that I word that.
to, I know, very good, very good. Picking our words well on Mondays. We're not always as well behaved on Thursdays. You know, the week sometimes does us in. I, I will say my mom had said something earlier today about how Catherine, she believes, and I don't totally remember. I'm inclined to agree with her, but that she believes she had seen something of Catherine saying that she's not really going into the house looking for a showmance, but if one presents itself to her, that she would use it to her benefit in the game. Was that
Was
something
it
that,
Catherine who said that?
or was
I
it Laura?
remember that that's the thing. I remember it being said, and I can't remember. I think it was Lauren, but if it was Catherine, maybe. I don't fully
Yeah.
remember. I'd have to rewatch those like Mike Bloom interviews.
Yeah, I can't really remember either. We watched those like in a blur because we had
Mhm.
house shops to attend. Okay, this was like of a lower priority. Um, but
No, my,
with
my
that
my
being said,
memory is telling me that it was Lauren, but it could have been Catherine, and I'm just misremembering.
yeah, it feels like a really long time ago. I mean, to be fair, it was like five, maybe technically 6 weeks ago, because this is week five in the house. That means when we would
Yeah,
have watched this, that was a week before that. So it's been a
yeah.
minute. All right, a lot of life has happened. Don't judge us. But based on like, Will and Nikki's influence, now we now saw that it was Vince, Keanu, and Zach that went up, despite the fact that Ava specifically told Zach, no one-on-one necessary with me, you're good. Aged very poorly. Okay. um
Yeah.
what do you think of that? Do you even think it matters? I don't know.
Um,
He's
not
won nothing.
particularly. Like,
Like, who
yeah,
cares what you think?
yeah, he hasn't really like his DR at the end of the episode was incredibly aggressive, but I, in a very real way, don't see him really doing anything about it. Because, like, honestly, not for nothing, Zach did kind of bring what's happening on himself, as did Vince, because when they backed down on the Adrian vote,
Mm.
I think that kind of like sealed their fate in betraying a lot of people. And I think that is the reason why they're in danger now. It was just kind of like a domino effect of like, because you didn't let this happen because you don't want to piss off Lauren, you have now in turn pissed off kind of everybody. And your word
Mhm.
doesn't really mean much of anything. So, like, why am I really trying hard to cultivate a relationship with you when you are not a trustworthy person to the rest of the house? And also, you haven't really proven yourself as being somebody who can be empowered to do anything to me in return. So,
Yikes. And before I also get ripped up in the comments, I mean, obviously, Zach did win something because that's the whole reason why he has this power, right? So
mm.
don't shred me. I'm just saying, present day, there hasn't been much action. Um, but I think that does close out the Sunday episode, right? I don't really think there's anything we didn't touch on. Um,
I mean, nothing of importance.
okay. So we're shifting. We're shifting. If you are not interested in hearing about the veto results, winner or ceremony results, tap out now. You can find us in the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We're always live 20 minutes after the live eviction. So we'll be back on Thursday at 9:20 Eastern. Maybe 9:23, but we always shoot for 9:20. And with that, that's your fair warning. All right, we're switching over. We're switching to spoilers. Now, we know that Zach had this power. Now, refresh my memory. Was it that he gets to play another veto, or he just gets a veto, or he just gets removed in exchange for his
So
$10,000?
So he essentially has a veto. So
Mm,
should he use this power, he gifts the HOH $10,000 and in turn buys himself getting off of the block. The HOH can't do anything about it. He says, "Hi, here's $10,000. I am no longer on the block this week."
I
And then they have to
basically
renominate somebody.
purchased my veto.
Pretty much.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. I didn't really remember if it was like Kelly's where like there was like going to be
No, yeah.
another competition or something. Okay. So that's Zach's power. Obviously, that is in potential to be played. And then we had a regular veto that was played. Now, that was Catherine. Catherine won that.
Mhm.
I think that sucks. Because who cares? Like, it's really not fun when somebody who didn't actually not actually up for eviction wins. I don't usually care for those too much,
Sure.
unless you get like a Tucker situation where he's like, you know what? Well, he was actually on the block though. That didn't really totally count, but he actually used it on Angela that one particular week. That's what I wanted to reference. But he
Oh,
was
that's
on
right.
the
That's right.
block.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, but he was actually on it. So like,
Wow, I forgot he was on the block that week. That was a crazy thing to do. And like to be fair, it paid off, but like that was bananas.
right? It was really
He's like,
like
I
insane.
got the AI arena. You're just like, what
I'm
do you mean?
good. You know what? Go sit down someplace. Yeah. Good on you. Um, so well, let's talk about Catherine first. So Catherine, she doesn't use it. Like this is where I don't even know what happened. Tell me things.
Right. It's so unfortunate because when I tell you guys that earlier this morning, me and Kyla were testing about how exciting things could be as a result of the veto ceremony, and literally nothing that we were excited about happened.
Oh
Because, like,
no.
the way that this was shaking up was that Ava was very, very certain of like, all right, someone gets taken off the block, Morgan is the renom. 1000%. I know she told Morgan to her face, like essentially, like you be the like I would nominate you if this veto gets used. Like it was like she was so certain of it, of like, yeah, Morgan's my, renomination, bing bang boom, no problem. Did not consider for one moment anybody else. It's Morgan. That's my renom. So how fun would it be if Catherine uses the veto on Vince?
Anyone. All right.
Okay, now I am renominating Morgan. Uh, 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 I'm Zach and I have a power, and now I'm taking myself off the block. Nominate somebody else. That scramble and that crash out would have been so much fun. It would have descended into chaos. Like so many things could have gone awry as a result of that. And instead, Catherine did not use the veto on anybody. And Zach did not use his power to save himself from the block. So there's no renom at all.
Really terrible. Really, really terrible,
And
and it's
what's
going to
also
be interesting to see how this one plays out. No, go ahead. You finish.
no, what's also crazy about this is, to my memory, and again, I'm not as big of a feeder this I've missed a lot of the live feeds this season, so, like, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but up until, like, yesterday, it seemed like Zach had not told anybody about this power. Like,
Mm,
I was under the impression that, like, no one really knew that he had it, and then yesterday, he's going up to people and telling them about, like, "Well, I do have this other veto and I can save myself," and, like, blah, blah, and he's, like, explaining the power to other people and using it to try to, like, get a pulse on, like, what other people are feeling in terms of, like, where they're aligned with and, like, if the veto gets used, blah, 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 like, is telling so many people about it. So then to not use it while you're still on the block
mm.
is like, what is this for? Like, it's not like, it would be one thing if he was like, all right, I feel very, very confident that I can beat both of these people in a blockbuster. So I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to save it for another, like, week or two, however long jury is. Cause I think even us as viewers are still a little confused about when jury is going to start this season, but you've told people about it now. So people know that you have it. So it's a matter of either flushing it and using you as a pawn, or now, like, to see that you've been on the block and you still didn't use it. It's like, all right, well, I'm not really worried about that. He didn't use it last time. Then why do I have to assume that he would use it this time? I just don't know why you would tell somebody that you have a veto and then not use it while you're on the block.
Agreed. Agreed. Now, except there was something I saw somewhere, and this is really just in passing. Somebody was reviewing like the rules attached to this power, and that it was actually written that you can activate this anytime after the ceremony. What does that mean? Like, is it possible that this can still be activated later in the
That
week?
feels
That
crazy.
doesn't feel correct, right? That doesn't feel correct.
I
Um,
wouldn't like that if that was the case. I feel like it's,
I
yeah,
don't know.
that doesn't feel like it should
I
be.
actually think I would like that. To be
But so
honest.
then, like, what would happen? So, like, in theory, on Thursday, you can say, never mind, I'm now off the block. And then, like, what is there a renom? Does the blockbuster just get canceled? Can you do it after the blockbuster? And now there's only one nominee. Oops, sorry,
I
that's
think that
your
you should
cue to
just get
go.
to use it again. But then the more I read, it doesn't look like that's actually the case. That could have just been like a rogue tweet because
Yeah, I
everybody
feel like
else
that
is saying
can't be.
no, let it go. Even Treese was like, he gets to leave with 10K no matter what. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it was a fun conversation point, but I don't really think it's so. Um,
Yeah, I feel like that would be silly. I wouldn't enjoy that.
I think it would make some really fantastic television. Like what happened? No, I guess that would be stupid if you did it then. Never mind. I'm talking myself out of it. Um, it just be like it's a little bit of a different thing to look forward to. Um, I wonder about it though. Does that silently mean that you've given up on your game, or you're just like, you know what? I just want to make sure that I at least get something out of this experience. Like, why wouldn't one use it? And is
Yeah,
this
I'm
is
I'm
this a
very
power?
interested in his DRs that we're gonna get on
Mhm.
Wednesday's episode because
Yeah, as to, like,
I
why
need
we
more
didn't use it.
context as to why you would not use it.
Mhm, mhm. Unless, of course, you're super, super confident about, like, your odds about everything, because how does this play out for Zach? If we go into the blockbuster, if he gets himself off, then obviously, like, we're totally fine. Gets himself off. If yeah, if Vince wins, Keanu's probably going home. If Keanu wins, what are Zach's chances against Vince? Like maybe it was a good decision to make.
But also, that's part of why I think it's stupid because, like, Vince is Zach's biggest ally right now. So why would you take a chance where you and your number one are the two people on the block when you could save yourself? And now, if Vince is still on the block, you can at least help rally votes to keep him against whoever he's up against.
Mhm. Mhm. Unless he feels he has a better connection with other people in the house.
I mean, the only other person that we really see him with that closely is, I mean, Lauren and Morgan, but like neither of them really. I don't know. Him and Vince seem to be the two in both of those
That they
situations.
do. They do. I also think it actually in that situation, if that scenario actually played out, I would actually see a world in which maybe it makes a little bit of sense for Morgan to kind of like move more towards the Zach thing, because of Mickey's erratic behavior. Like, I wouldn't be so cool with being in an alliance with her after the Jimmy thing.
And that was so what I was going to say before. I believe hear this in one of Taryn's live feed updates, so I am glad that I like. The more that I thought about it, I was like, I don't think I heard her say this. I think I heard him say this. But
Okay.
Mickey was in a conversation with somebody talking about like all of the ways in which things could pan out, and she like to somebody's face was like, "Well, I mean, like if this is the way that it happens, then I'm just going to have to put you up." Mickey's not the HOH this week. I don't know why she's telling anybody that she's going to put them up should she win an HOH in future weeks. But she's like literally looking somebody in the eye and telling them to their face, like, well, if that's the way that you're going to be with this vote, then I'm just going to have to put you up. What are you,
Where are you getting
why are
that
you
from?
talking to people? Like I just don't understand because she, I had said this last week that like, of all of the HOHs we've seen so far, she is the one that really kind of contracted the HOH-itis, where like she is now
Mhm.
like under this assumption that like, well, I had power once, so now I'm just the person who has the power. But she, as we previously discussed, didn't do a great job for her personal game when she had the power. And now
Mhm.
she's still walking around like barking orders at people. She's trying to, it ended up working Ava, which again, I do think that it was like the better option for Ava's game. But like, no, you can't put up my person. Okay, fine, whatever. If you don't vote the way that I want you to, I'm going to have to put you up. You're not the one in power who can put anybody up. I don't know why you're saying that to people. Like, I just don't understand her mindset of like, she's all over the place, I feel like.
Yeah, and I really don't think that you want to really put it out there that you even think that you have that level of influence with the HOH. I think that can negatively affect your relationship with Ava, and that
Mhm.
can negatively affect, like, really your obviously your relationships with everyone else. Because how could I ever trust you again? If I thought you were that close with Ava and you think that you're controlling her HOH, and I don't want to be that close to you because you're going to think that you can do that to me too. Um,
Especially because she has set the precedent of not targeting her ops, but targeting her allies. Why do I want to be aligned with you if I feel like if I'm not aligned with you enough, I'm on the block more than the
mhm.
people that you're playing against?
Yeah, yeah. Mickey is really she's letting us down. She's letting us down. Um, us being me at least, because I really thought that, like, I don't know, like she came in and like she was so confident, and like she really gave me the impression that she was going to be like this strategic player. I don't know where I got
Mhm.
that from, but like that was my impression of her, and I haven't seen any instance of that. Like, none.
Well, and
Um,
like, unfortunately, I don't think it's a problem that is specific to Mickey. I just think that this entire cast has no idea strategically
mm.
what the hell they're doing. Like,
That's also
I'm not
fair.
really
I was just giving it to
satisfied with
Mickey because that's who we were talking
anybody's
about, but
gameplay
if you
right
wanna
now.
open this one up,
No,
yeah,
and
I
that's
don't
fair, but,
disagree.
like, I am not satisfied with anybody's strategic gameplay this season. Literally not one person. I'm sitting here watching everybody being like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing?"
Yeah. I don't think really anyone's making any sense, quite honestly. Um, it's just been kind of interesting to see some of the flip-flopping, but no one's really making decisions that really, I mean, at least Mickey's noms made sense to her. She did what she did with some level of conviction. I don't think anyone else, like Lauren's HOH, seemed like a complete bust. She was like, I guess I'll just do this. Like,
Yeah,
it
whatever
wasn't
everybody
even
else wants me to do, I'll just do that.
right. We at least Mickey, I didn't agree with her decisions, but she had reasoning for why she did what she did, albeit
Mhm.
wrong. Lauren was just like, somebody please just tell me what to do. And it's like, this is really painful.
Again,
Um,
it's like I can respect a like low key under the radar floater game pre jury And then once the jury section kicks off, like now you start like making, like, I understand like taking a couple of weeks to kind of let the dust settle and be like, all right, what is the structure of this game really looking like? Because the people that you're working
Mhm.
with week one are never really the people that you end up working with forever. But if that's the game you're playing, you don't win HOH week 3.
Fair enough.
Like, why did you win if you didn't have a plan of what you wanted to do with it?
Yeah. Yeah. I want a Keanu HOH. I know you're done with him. You want him to go because you want everybody to do something different. But if he makes it through this week, I really want him to win. I don't know what he would do, in all honesty. Like, who
At this
goes
point,
up?
he put a and I feel like, yeah, that makes sense.
Anyone. I think the only person he may not actually put up is like Rachel, ironically enough, because they seemed that was the one other conversation from last night's episode that we didn't actually touch on was the fact that he was like comforting
Mhm.
her when she was starting to doubt herself. And like it did make me a little bit more endeared towards Keanu, but I also then got the impression that production wanted me to be endeared towards him, and it made me less endeared.
Sure.
Like, yeah, it actually kind of like irritated me
I
once I
get
had
that.
that thought. Yeah, it's like I don't want you to work me over production. I'm not in the house. But yeah, I
It
think a
is also like,
Keanu
and again,
HOH
it
would be
just, no, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like this also just kind of speaks to how all over the place this season is. I cannot believe that I'm watching a season of Big Brother where Rachel Riley is in the house and I keep forgetting that she's in there. Like between the live
also
feeds and
fair.
the edit,
Yep,
I keep forgetting that Rachel is even like she'll all of a sudden have a DR and I'm like, oh fuck, Rachel's there. Because she
Rachel's
is
back.
just such a non-entity in this house right now. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
It's Rachel Riley.
yeah. And it doesn't seem to mean anything to
What do
these
you
people. But
mean?
that's also because these people don't even know what this game is. This is their first time here. They watched like
But
two
she's
seasons
also
back
not
and they
really
were
like,
sequestered.
she also like just doesn't really have a lot of agency. Like every once in a while she'll like pick a fight, like, you know, she had that little like thing with Catherine. But like other than
Yes.
that, it's just like she's just kind of like vibing in there. Even like I'll watch the live feeds and I'm like, is that Rachel? Oh yeah, Rachel's there. Like, cause she'll like walk by in frame, and I'm like, oh shit, because I haven't seen her in like 3 hours.
Yeah, and I almost think though, I mean, if you want to get into that, I actually think that's probably the better way for her to play right now because she's never really been in a true position of power. So like she kind
Mhm.
of does need to lay low for the people that do know who she is. They're going to think that she's playing a different kind of game. And it's like, oh, maybe she's kind of it does lower her threat level a little bit.
Sure.
Um, I'm hoping that if she wins something, we get some old school Rachel back, but we really need her to win like an HOH or something to kind of see how that one like plays out. Because
Mhm.
that's the other thing that happened last night. These conversations that Vince had with Rachel and Will were
Oh,
so awful. They were just
I forgot about
awful.
that.
And the fact that even Rachel was like, I was on The Bold and the Beautiful and I know soap opera acting, and that's exactly what this is. It's like it
It's
was
just like,
so bad.
Vince, you don't have to. What is this for? Like, you
Right, you
don't
don't
have to
need to
do
lay it
that.
on that thick. Just, I don't know, just say you regret something, say you feel sad. You don't need to actually put on all those extra theatrics because that really took a lot out of
It's
the argument.
great.
It was horrible. It was horrible. Um,
Like, what
But
is
then
this
even in that
for?
conversation though, that's where Rachel was just like, "Oh, well," because he was like, "I fucked up." And she's like, "Yeah, you did." And it's like, "All right, you're there's old Rachel, but like you don't really have a lot of right to say those things because you don't actually have any power." So like
Yeah.
it's little glimmers of that that I'm just like, I need her to have some actual say. Yeah, but unfortunately, that's really all I got for this week.
I think that's all I have at the moment too.
Yeah. I'm super disappointed that there wasn't more like veto things to get into. Um,
I know. I literally all morning I was walking around with a pep in my step, like, oh, this has the potential to be so explosive and so fun. And then I realized, like, an hour or two before we went live, I was like, I haven't seen anybody talking about anything with the veto. And I looked it up and I'm looking like, why can't I find any information? It's because nothing happened.
Nothing. Terrible. Such a letdown. But our conversation was fun, at least. There's that.
I had a good time with you.
Yeah, I had a good time with you. Miss you, John. Sorry.
Mhm,
What does the
mhm.
week look like coming up? So today is the 11th. Obviously, on the 14th, we have our next eviction. I can be kind of touched on that before 9:20 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live. On
Mhm.
Sunday is the premiere of Australian Survivor, Australia versus the
Oh, I
World.
didn't realize it was that soon.
Yes, yes, that is starting on Sunday. I'll be pushing for coverage to be on Mondays. That is not confirmed with Gina or John. So, all the more reason to follow us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod to find out exactly what we're doing. Um, but I guess that's it. We have no BB Unlocked this week, so no reason to plan your
Mhm.
Friday around that, even though we already were not.
Really?
Um, I haven't watched either of them.
Me either.
I actually saw less about this episode than I saw about the first one. Like, no one's talking about it. No one gives two figs. Actually, the one thing that I did see was people saying, please cancel BB Unlocked. Do not watch it. So that way you can bring back the feeds. I guess the feeds are going dark when BB Unlocked is on.
Oh, interesting. See, I also
I
have
guess.
heard people I've heard people speculating, and I don't think based on what I've seen that this has like been the reality yet, but I've seen people nervous that there are things that are happening on the feeds that should be in episodes that aren't because they're trying to save it to be like, "Oh, but like you have to watch Unlocked and then you'll see what like I heard a lot of people saying it because
No.
apparently Ava's nomination speeches was like a
Mhm.
whole big thing. Like there were people that saw like I think she on feeds was like giving Rachel like she was like doing like a rehearsal for Rachel being like all right, here's what my speech is going to sound like. And it sounded like it was going to be like she was going to roast everybody that she was putting on the block and we got almost none of it on the edited episode and people were like is that because they're trying to save things like that for Unlocked to give people a reason to watch. Like, here's all the crazy stuff that you missed in the episodes that's happening on the feeds, blah, blah, blah.
But that would
Or
be
like,
so
are they
stupid because that's not even on the feeds, and then the next Unlocked isn't until the 22nd. Who cares what Ava said 2 weeks ago?
and again, like that it's not confirmed that that's what they're doing, but people are nervous about that, especially because feeds are going down. They're like, well, are you cutting feeds during explosive moments so that you
Mhm.
can put them on Unlocked in like an edited way instead of just letting us see what's happening on the live feeds that we pay money to watch?
Boo.
Meh.
I hope not. I hope that's not the case. Maybe at some point you should just tune in. Like, maybe the next time you're washing dishes or something, just turn the volume up and put on Unlocked and just let it play in the background. Just kind of just make sure you didn't miss anything good. But you'll get that opportunity to do so on the 22nd. That's the next Unlocked. All right. So that's it. I think that's all we got. Anything else for the benefit of the community before we hit the road, Jack?
I don't believe so.
All right. Well, you listen. Thanks for hanging, and we will see you on Thursday.